So full range of motion, if you think about muscle as this long piece of fiber, the longer you stretch it, there's a lot of bodybuilders that talk about fully lengthening the muscle tissue in order to stretch the fascia to give the muscle more room to grow. Well, if you're doing limited range of motion exercises, your muscle has no extra room to grow because the fascia is still tight.
Right.
Now, that's theoretical, but in my opinion, it makes sense.
It does.
With full range of motion, as the fascia gets more stretched, the muscle has more room to grow. Think of it like a snake, for example.
Okay.
If I buy a snake from the pet store and it's only a foot long and I keep it in a 2x2 foot cage, it won't grow. If I put it in a 6x6 foot cage, it'll start growing because it has more room to grow.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's safer as well, because typically when I see it, I use a squat as the example, because when I've seen guys warm up, let's say they can squat parallel with 135 or less, but at some point, their range of motion just keeps decreasing as the weight goes up. And now they're just ego lifting, essentially. But they can tell people, yeah, I squat 315. But do they really squat? They'd be much better off doing what you say, to use a lighter weight and just build. But it's back to what you talked about earlier. People want something now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to wait 10 years or 5 years to get to a true 315 squat. They want it in 3 months or something.
Yeah, which is nearly impossible for a lot of people. And the other big thing is it starts to create muscular imbalances when you don't use fuller ranges of motion, right? Because you're only attacking a limited range of that joint. And so if you can do full range of motion exercises, you're going to get a little bit bigger, a little faster. The last one that a lot of people still don't understand, especially in the bodybuilding realm, think about, in theory, two of the best bodybuilders that's ever lived in the last 30 years, Dorian Yates and Ronnie Coleman. Both were berserker strong.
Yes.
When they would step on stage against other people that train like bodybuilders, they would decimate them because of their muscle density.
Yes.
And the reason is because they use massive compound movements. I mean, Ronnie Coleman squatted 800 for a double 6 weeks out from the Olympia.
Yeah, I have his DVD.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the point is that although, people could argue, did it damage him more than helped him as far as in the long run? Who knows? But he goes down as one of the best bodybuilders to ever live. Same as Dorian Yates, and it's because they trained heavy and they were able to attack those muscles at an almost gargantuan level. Now, what that does to help the average person is, let's say I can only bench press 225. My ability to use 100-pound dumbbells for sets of 20 is not going to happen.
Right.
Because it's too close to my max. But if I'm a 500-pound bencher, now the 100-pound dumbbells are warm-ups.
Yes.
So who's going to get bigger?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, for the longest time, up to 2 years ago, I was resistant to the bench. I guess somebody with the shoulders at the angle. I was always just using dumbbells. And I got up to like 80 pounds, 90 pounds, where I could do them properly, I would say, not nonsense reps. Then I started benching and I was doing them properly. And my best is 315 per 2, right? But when I went down, and I did it for a while, from 225 to 185, is literally what you said. I got more out of it because I could do more reps and I could control it better. And my chest felt like it was going to blow up when I get off the bench. And I was like, I'm really using more of the chest versus my back, my feet, all the other musculature just taking over.
Now imagine this. Imagine if you could do all those reps with 315.
Yes. Then I'd really, yeah.
But your bench would have to climb to 455, 500 to be able to do that. So the point is that strength limits the ability to do reps with a sub-maximal weight.
Yes, I agree. That, it's funny because the second one, full range of motion, people lift too heavy typically. But with the third point, you need to get stronger. But it's almost like people, if they would take let's say the guy with a 315 squat, he rushed it. But if he took his time adding 5 pounds, 2.5 pounds, or even less per week or every 2 weeks or whatever, and year by year legitimately got there, then he would have the best of both worlds. He would be as strong as he wanted to be, and he would look better as well. So yeah, win all around. And let's
the issue is timeline.
Yes.
People's timelines are too short.
Because you are determined to transform your body, you made it to the end of this video. To get more tips about how to look great and feel even better, check out one of these videos you see on the screen. I'm sure you'll enjoy them. So later's my massive. Me a go long now. For those who don't speak Jamaican patois, that's goodbye, my people.